Welcome back to Arise and Shine, and thanks for waking up with us. Kara Stevens is the Frugal Feminista. Her goal is to show women of color the link between their net worth and their self-worth. She's here to share her priceless financial advice with us today. Welcome, Kara. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So I think January is a really important month to talk about finances because a lot of people might have overspent during the holidays and they might be looking at their credit card bills right now and kind of freaking out a little bit. What are some tips, or tell us some good ideas to help ease people's financial hangovers?
Exactly. Well, the first thing you need to do is actually forgive yourself. What's done is done, right?
I like that one.
It's done. There's no reason for you to continue like bemoan your expenditure.
Right.
The second thing that you want to do is after you get a grip, you have to get your stats, which means understand where all of your debt is, create an assessment, an accurate assessment of where your debt really is in terms of which credit cards, which charge cards, which stores you've been to, and then actually write those things down so you can really see exactly to the penny how much debt are you actually in.
So once you forgive yourself, as you say, you're still left sitting with all of that debt, which will be a big problem for the rest of the year. What are your tips to get out of it for 2015?
Yeah, once you create your plan, you have to actually move to action. So I think creating goals that are specific, measurable, accurate, reliable, and time-bound, which we call those SMART goals. So you can actually create benchmarks and specific ways to reduce that debt. So instead of saying, I want to get out of my credit card debt, you say, by the next pay cycle or by the next billing cycle, I would have paid $300 off of my $7,000 credit card bill. So you can benchmark what your progress is. So instead of thinking about holistically, think about it in small meals, like piecemeal, and then you can celebrate your success. So you're not like, now you're not $7,000 in debt, you're $300 less.
Right, yeah, I think that makes it a lot less overwhelming.
Exactly.
And tell me about, we've all been there, living paycheck to paycheck. And I think
you're preaching to the choir.
It can be depressing, and sometimes you think, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get out of this cycle. How do you get out of it?
That's a great question, and I get a lot of people asking me that question. I think it all starts with a mindset again. You have to decide that you're going to get out of living that mindset of paycheck to paycheck. So once you, of course, get your mindset shift, the second thing that you're going to have to do is actually create another plan. And then what you do is you also, and this is really important, is that you identify people who are on the same road as you are. 2015 is a new year, new things, and maybe time for you to eliminate people who are living a lavish lifestyle that is contributing to you living paycheck to paycheck.
Ooh, Priya, I won't see you anymore.
That's funny.
I'm not going to see you anymore, Priya. No hanging out with you. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's funny. It's true, because even like social media, like Instagram and Facebook, where people are posting lavish living, it may promote overspending. But then after that, after you kind of get those things out the way, the best thing to do is create a budget. Like you need to figure out how much you are spending every month and where you are really spending more on wants instead of needs. If your needs assessment is showing that you're spending way too much on the way you look or what you smell like, or just day-to-day living expenditure that's not necessarily important for long-term wealth, then you can begin to size that down.
Now, budgeting is something that everybody, I mean, most people would struggle with. I have not been able to budget for years. You know, you look at it and it's like, oh yeah, I have enough money, but you don't sit down there with an Excel spreadsheet and work it out that way. What's the 50-30-20 rule when it comes to this?
Right, because I'm a busy girl. Everyone's busy, and sometimes the idea of a budget makes you think you want to avoid it. So the 50-30-20 rule is a guideline that was even created by Senator Elizabeth Warren. And the idea is that 50% of your income should go towards your needs, so transportation, food, living expenditure. 30% can go to your wants, so the things that you actually enjoy doing, because we just don't live to save, we live to spend and enjoy and have pleasure with our money. And 20% of our income goes to saving and investing. So that's a great rule of thumb and guideline for anyone that doesn't want to sit behind a spreadsheet behind their computer all day trying to figure out what those numbers are. But it's a quick and dirty rule that you can carry with you and share with other people who are also struggling to get their your first step towards budgeting.
Yeah.
And so what's your advice for people who want to increase their wealth and perhaps save money for the future and pay off their debt?
Right. There are 3 things that you can actually do. One is decrease your expenditure, right? So figure out where it is that you're spending the most money. Where and limit, say for example, I have on the Frugal Feminista, I have this community where it's called the $20 Cash Crash Diet, where we, as accountability partners, work together to ensure that we're not spending more than $20 on items throughout the week that we don't need.
Right.
So lunch, lattes.
Starbucks.
so you can enjoy it, but you have a limit. Another thing that you can do is increase your income. So finding part-time work that you actually enjoy. And you may not have to go to another employer. You can do it yourself. This is definitely the age of startups, of entrepreneurship, of consulting.
Right.
So you can, for thinking about what you bring to the table in terms of your talents. If you
We have talent.
You have great talent.
We have talent.
So you have great style, impeccable style. If people have complimented you on your style, then that probably means you could be a consultant.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's great tips.
Yeah,
We'll definitely keep it into account. Thanks so much for joining us here on Rise and Shine. Great speaking to you. Now, if you want to get more financial tips from Kara, you can also check out her website, thefrugalfeminista.com, or follow her on Twitter @frugalfeminista.
And coming up, Hill Harper wears many hats as an actor on TV and in the movies, but he's also an author who recently wrote his 5th book. Hill visited the Arise studios recently to talk about it, and we've got that interview for you next. Stay tuned. You're watching Arise and Shine.